We're 2 weeks away from Season 25, and in the last year, Apex has received a lot of updates to the complete base of the game. Everything from legends to weapons to classes have changed, so let's talk about every major change in the last year, so if you're a returning or even a current player, you know what's going on. And let's start in Season 21, which released just under a year ago. In Season 21, we got a new legend called Alta. She has been the only legend to release in the last year, and she had some cool abilities, like a tactical allowed her to portal through walls, and also an ultimate that acted as a hub that you could teleport back to, and it only had one charge, as well as a passive where you could pick stuff up out of death boxes through walls. In this update, Broken Moon also received a huge map update, which was the last map update we got, and this map update, instead of focusing on one area, changed a lot of the map, and especially the center of it, adding the quarantine zone, which is a very popular point of interest in Broken Moon now. In this season, Respawn also added the Apex artifact system, which were essentially customizable universal heirlooms that went on any legend, and introduced a new battle pass system, where instead of one battle pass per season, we actually get 2 battle passes per season, and both of these battle passes follow a similar style. As well as this, Season 21 reintroduced solos for the first time in years, and since solos returned in Season 21, it's been returning frequently since then, which is great. As well as this, halfway through Season 21, we got the Double Take update, which introduced quads, allowing squads of up to 4 players. This stayed as a bit of a permanent mode until being moved out, and it still comes back as a temporary mode every now and then. In this update, Respawn also introduced Ranked Rumble, which did not go well at all, and I'm not going to bother explaining it because Respawn have essentially discontinued Ranked Rumbles until they can figure out how to make them work properly. They were bad. After this, we got Season 22, which was a very big update, as we got a brand new map called E-District. This was a city map set at night time, and is still very popular between players. It went down pretty well. It has a very clean vibe, and if you're just returning to Apex, this is going to be the biggest shock, because it somehow feels nothing like Apex, but also exactly like Apex at the exact same time. Also, during this season, Akimbo was added to the P2020 and Mozambique, giving a new breath of life into these weapons. Since the P2020 was added, it's been in the meta, and also when the Mozambique came out, it was very OP, but now it's been balanced to be a pretty solid weapon. The Akimbo system is great, and literally all you have to do to activate it is pick up 2 P20s or 2 Mozambiques. In this season, Battle Sense was also added to every single legend in the game. Essentially, Battle Sense is a mechanic that activates whenever you damage an enemy. What it does is puts a health bar above their head and also temporarily highlights damaged enemies, making it easier to track enemies and also easier to make decisions on whether you want to rush them or not, because you can see the health. So yes, health bars are a permanent feature that you can turn off in the settings. As well as this, Respawn added Bot Royale as a permanent mode into the game, which is essentially smaller battle royale games where you're only fighting bots. And also during this update, Controller and Recon Legends saw a rework. Controller Legends saw a rework where they gain extra shields when in zone, and also the ability to remote pick up equipment through walls. So if you're Watson, you can pick up your fences through walls, or if you're Rampart or Caustic, you can pick up your traps and shields through walls. The rework Recon got was a new passive that highlights enemies whenever you aim down sights. So enemies in your line of sight when aiming down sights will be highlighted. Recon Legends also got a passive where they scan the survey beacons faster, at the cost of survey beacons only scanning up to 500 meters away. Additionally, in Season 22, the game saw an update to how trackers work. Now trackers are separated into 2 different aspects, art and stats. So you can mix and match tracker art and stats, and also tracker art and stats are universal to every legend, allowing more customizability on your banner. Continuing with Season 22, in the mid-season update we saw some small changes. Respawn decided to remove Turbocharger from the game, and also turned Valk from a skirmisher legend into a recon legend, so she took on the recon passives. Moving on to Season 23, we had a pretty big season. It started by giving us an OG Apex theme. When we loaded up the game, we were in the Season 0 lobby, and also the Season 0 map with Season 0 weapons and Season 0 balancing, which was pretty fun. As well as this, for content in the season, Lifeline saw a rework, so now her passive is the ability to glide on her dock drone, allowing slow and calculated descents. Her ultimate is now a shield ring generated by Doc that can be thrown down, and it increases heal speeds for any friendlies within it while providing cover as it is a shield, and her dock drone tactical got massively improved as it can now follow friendlies or yourself and can be told to teleport between friendlies or yourself, so you get heals on the go very fast now and you can basically heal while fighting. As well as this, season 23 introduced the EPG as a temporary weapon, essentially acting as a weapon that Respawn could take out of the game and then add back at any time they want. As well as this, Respawn introduced a Karambit heirloom that can be applied to any legend, and they gave the support class a rework, giving them a new passive called Heal Expert, which allowed support legends to full walk speed while healing, and also a new passive called Revive Expert that allowed fast revives and health regen on revived allies as a support legend. So weirdly enough, if you have a lifeline on your team, you really should let her revive, because not only will she revive faster, but she'll also grant regen to the revived friendly. As well as this, support legends now get a free mobile respawn beacon whenever they grab a banner off a dead friendly's box, which was pretty powerful. These class passives have seen a few nerfs, but for the most part they're still similar to when they were introduced in season 23. As well as this, Respawn added a ranked skill display to the game so you could see the rank of everybody in your lobby, and made a change allowing all legends to craft respawn banners. So now any legend can craft a respawn banner no matter what class they are. Continuing in season 23, in the mid-season update, Respawn made more changes, like re-adding Select Fire and giving Mirage and Loba mini reworks. Mirage got a mini rework, giving him a new passive where he would go invisible whenever healing, which is absolutely huge, along with some new perks, and they also reworked Loba to give her 2 bracelets, faster bracelet speeds, absolutely insane perks, and quality of life improvements to her ultimate, which was absolutely huge for her. Also, they took the variable cooldown off Pathfinder's grapple and put it at a solid cooldown time of 30 seconds. In season 24, we got the most changes for an Apex season ever, I'm pretty sure. In season 24, Respawn introduced a new system called Arsenals. Arsenals are essentially little stations that spawn around the map that supply every single weapon from a certain ammo type. So there are light ammo arsenals, sniper arsenals, and essentially at Arsenals you can pick up any weapon you want, and there's a little button on the side where you can upgrade the weapon to the next level. Arsenals are pretty much at every point of interest, so these have become a big backbone of the game, especially for getting your favorite loadout very quick. Additionally, in this season we saw the introduction of weapon mythic skins. We got an R301 weapon mythic skin and grenade skins, as well as an assault class rework. Assault legends got a new passive where they can carry more ammo per stack and also have grenade reserve slots in their inventory, so whenever they pick up grenades it doesn't take inventory space. Additionally, they got a new passive called Stowed Reload, where stowed weapons automatically reload after 2 seconds, and Battle Surge, which grants you a movement and reload speed boost after cracking enemy shields, as well as a temporary highlight on cracked enemies. As well as these changes, in this update we also saw a mini rework for Ashe, where she got a new passive, which was essentially a dash. Yes, now Ashe can dash, and it's very powerful. She also got new perks to complement the dash, like a perk that gives her 2 dashes. Ballistic also saw a mini rework, allowing him to sling red weapons, as well as massive perk changes and massive changes to his Whistler. Crazily enough, those weren't the biggest updates in season 24, but in fact the biggest update was that every single weapon in the game was buffed. Every single weapon in the game got at least 1 extra damage, and in some cases up to 7 extra damage. As well as this, Respawn removed the red armor evo from the game, so the max armor you could evo to was purple, and they removed all helmets from the game apart from red helmets and gold helmets. Red helmets are rare and can be found in care packages, and essentially are the only way to evo your armor to red. When you put a red helmet on, it will put your armor at red, but it won't give you any head protection. Essentially, head protection doesn't exist in Apex anymore. In a similar fashion, gold helmets do the same. They put you on gold armor and give you gold armor buffs, but don't actually protect your head. So with this update, every single person in the game became real easy to kill, as the game's time to kill was drastically lowered due to every weapon getting buffed and red armor essentially functionally being removed. Within season 24 we got some small changes as well, like every single POI has its name above it when in the dropship, and also muzzle flash was reduced. Somehow in the mid-season update for season 24 there were even more changes. First of all, the power sword was introduced as a temporary weapon and also an heirloom, as well as a power sword and EPG mode being added. Skirmishers saw a rework in this mid-season update, completing every single class rework, so Respawn have no more classes to rework now. This rework added a passive to Skirmishers called Trailblazer, where teammates receive a speed boost when 20 meters or over away from a skirmisher. Additionally, Skirmishers got another passive called Charged Knock, where whenever a skirmisher knocks an enemy, skirmishers get a tactical refresh and 50 HP regen. As well as this, Alta saw a fat rework which made her very viable. It made her ult an actual hub to teleport to, rather than a one-use thing, and this update granted her with 2 portals instead of 1, and many portal buffs and 2 new perks. Horizon also saw some new perks, and Pathfinder saw a new perk, allowing him to reduce his grapple cooldown from 30 seconds to 20 seconds, which was what he needed. Additionally, Revenant saw some speed changes to his tactical, now you can pounce way faster, and some buffs to his ultimate. And the best part of all, Wraith got her Naruto run back, and also buffs to her tactical. Now she has the ability to exit her tactical at any time, and the tactical wind up is way faster. You can get into the void real quick now. And also her portal saw improvements and speed improvements. And that's it. That's a year of the most important Apex changes. So if you're planning to come back for Season 25, that was probably worth listening to. And if you're a current player, that was also probably worth listening to, because Respawn are changing the game a lot. Anyway, subscribe.